I realize I might be the problem. I do. But also, everyone else is still an idiot. Down, 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 down. I found out that if you want to use another artist's music for your intros and your outros, you have to get permission in a lot of ways. You just can't, but I know. You got to pay for it in some way. But that doesn't apply if you are just singing them yourself. So I figured we're just going to start doing intros and outros with either generic music, or I'm just going to just sing the intro. What's love got to do with it? What's love? See, and you can make it fade, but a second-hand emotion. We don't have to do any audio tricks for that. So that's a good deal, right? And if we end a segment that's like really hard, like has a hard edge to it, like, yeah, we showed her. I would never get permission from AC/DC to do that, but if it's stuck in your head anyway, you can just sing it if you want to. So when we got something that's going to be coming up that's sad, or it's going to end in something sad, like, oh, and then I never saw her again, we can do the bound, 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 bound. I've been looking so long in my pictures of you that I almost believe it real. Welcome back to the I Might Be the Problem podcast. I am your host, Kelly Morton. I just wanted to tinker with the intros and outros with you live for today. We have a great show for you to plan. I made a promise to myself when I started doing this show that I would, of course, try to make it interesting for you guys and make it a little funny for you guys, and don't do politics for you guys, and not be a broadcast, not be a broadcast, and also no ranting. I don't want to do ranting podcasts. There's a lot of those. And I just recorded this entire piece about hybrid vehicles and people buying gas and people who drive hybrids. And while it makes all the points I wanted to make with it, pretty funny sometimes, it's ranty. So I'm re-recording something right now, and you're a part of it, because I wanted to approach the subject calmly. Nice and calm. Kelly, be calm. Be calm. And so I want to talk to you today about vaginal discharge. I'm just kidding. Do you want to talk about vaginal discharge? We can talk about consistency. I'm just kidding. Right? Yeah, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So I wanted to be calmer about the subject. I drive a 2022 Toyota Prius hatchback, and I get about 54, 55, 56 miles to the gallon, sometimes more, sometimes 52, but I get really good gas mileage. And so it occurred to me when I'm driving around that I am living a completely different life than someone who is driving a giant truck that they don't actually need for work, that they just wanted. You know what I'm talking about. They have the giant truck, the giant pickup truck, and it's super shiny all the time. They don't actually use it for anything, but they just want to have a big ass truck. And that's fine. But I shouldn't be victimized and bullied and made fun of because I choose to get a car that doesn't require me to go to the fucking gas station every week to fill up. My car payment is super low. Your truck payment is super high. These people are paying $70,000, $80,000, $100,000 for a fucking truck for no reason. Their insurance is outrageous. The tires and maintenance is outrageous. And then when the gas prices go up, they fucking complain as if they're entitled to dirt cheap gas on top of that. And they're not. They're not entitled to dirt cheap gas. Gas prices have been going up your entire life. From the time you were a kid into now, the gas prices have doubled and tripled since you were a kid, for sure. And for some reason, some people think that they buy all this shit and they can vote for somebody that they think will give them 99 cents a gallon gas, And when it doesn't happen, they're just angry people driving around, especially on Fridays. They just angrily drive around in their big ass truck they could barely afford. And now they're pissed off about gas prices. And they take it out on hybrid drivers and EV people. I see them all the time making fun of electric vehicle drivers and hybrid drivers like they're pussies and tree huggers and all this shit. But I don't think they understand that the EV drivers and the hybrid drivers, most of them, they're not delusional. They're not trying to save the world one trip at a time. That's not what they're doing. They got it because it saves them money. They don't like buying gas. They do not want to be a slave to the gas station and go. They don't want to be like you. They get it because it saves them a lot of money. That's why they get hybrids, because it saves them money. They do not want to go oil changes all the time. They do not want to have a bunch of moving parts they can't afford to fix. So they get hybrids. Now, I got the Toyota Prius hybrid with the hatchback because I do guy stuff. I still need to go to Home Depot and get shit. I have to get paint, mulch, a door, and you can put all that stuff in a hatchback. Some people get the Tesla electric vehicles, which is fine, but I can't do the Tesla because I need a vehicle that I can still do dude shit with. And these same people that bitch about the gas prices being too high are the same people who also shit on wind turbines, windmills. They shit on electric vehicles. They shit on solar power, anything, which doesn't make any sense. Because if I were hooked on oil and I needed oil and gas to be cheap, I would definitely be because that's the kind of vehicle I want to drive. I would be encouraging energy source diversification in some sort. I'd be like, yes, hell yes. Make some more wind turbines, hell yes. Make some more solar panels, yes. You guys should all get EVs because I want my big ass truck, which can only run on gasoline. And I need my gas to be as cheap as me. So the less gas you guys buy, the less energy you need from fossil fuels, the better it is for me because it's supply and demand. Oil and gas is supply and demand. Prices go up, prices go down, prices go up. So they, instead of shitting on these EV drivers and cutting them off and blowing smoke at them as if you're trying to make a statement about, fuck you, you tree hugger, you should be thanking them. You should be thanking, hey, bro, thank you for driving that because I love my big ass truck. It's a badass truck. I pay a shit ton of money for it. I need the gas to cheaper than me. And the more you guys drive these hybrids and electric vehicles and the more we promote alternate forms of energy, the better it is for me. But they don't do that. And I think that's what frustrates me is, if anything, we're on the same team. We're just trying to save money. And they're like, oh, you libtards out there driving around and and the wind turbines, they're killing the birds. No, it's like, okay, first of all, no, the fuck they're not. But also, since when as a fossil fuel truck driver give two fucks about what's killing the birds or what's bad for the environment? Well, you guys are killing the birds. Like, no, we're not. But also, you don't care about the environment. You want oil exploration. You want smokestacks. You want coal. You want to blow exhaust into the air. And that is not environmentally friendly. So you can't just sit around saying, well, because what we're trying to say is you guys are hypocrites. It's like, no, you're the hypocrite. You're saying that you want cheap gas, but you also shit upon any efforts to make it cheaper by diversifying the industry. My last Toyota, this was my second Prius, by the way, and my first one, I got 260,000 miles out of that car. 260 when I traded it in for a newer one. They still gave me a couple $2,500 for it, and the hybrid battery was still fine. It was mechanically causing problems, which is why I got the hybrid in the first place, is so I have less mechanics, and it was a good ride. Now I'm on my second hybrid car, and hopefully after this I'll be able to get myself an electric vehicle, but there's just not a lot of choices for electric vehicles in America right now. I guess there's not a whole bunch of options, and I wish there were more options, and I wish they kept that tax credit. And that's the other thing. This hybrid, gas, oil, this is not political. For some reason, Everybody that drives a hybrid or EV is liberal, and everybody who drives a big ass truck is some dumb fuck redneck or something. And I know you're thinking, I know, but it's not political. That's one thing we said about the show. We're not going to do politics, and it's not political. It's just common sense. And when I tell people, hey, I didn't get this car to save the world. I didn't get the car because, I'm trying to like make up for my carbon footprint, because I realize that we spend a lot on the carbon footprint every day when I order a package from Amazon. Things got to get here on planes. That uses fuel. I get that. I'm not being a hypocrite. I'm just trying to tell you, I do not like going to the gas station. I do not like getting a surprise at the gas pump that I have to put $50 in one month and the next month is $150. I prefer not to buy gasoline. It's a pain in the ass. It's expensive. It's always more expensive. I do not like having to get oil changes every 3,000 or 5,000 miles. You can do it to 10,000 on these cars. So what I guess I'm saying, if you're a truck driver out there and you need a truck or you need a van, I do feel for you when it comes to the gas prices going up. I think we all do. If you have to get a vehicle that's in your budget and it doesn't get good gas mileage, I do feel for you. That's not your fault. You just got what you could afford. I feel more sorry for the people who couldn't get a car, who got a car that they, just because that's all they could afford, than someone who got a truck they definitely could barely afford, and now they're bitching about the prices being too high. It's like, hey, you are living such a privileged life that you're able to get that truck in the first place, and now you want it. Now you want near free gas. What about the guy who had to go on Facebook Marketplace and get some beat up, busted up Kia, and that's all they could afford was $1,500 for it, and their gas mileage is total shit because it doesn't run well? That's the one I actually feel sorry for. And they're trying, they would probably, but the ones I don't feel sorry for are the ones that choose to be in that position. And if you would just make some grown-up choices in your life, you know what? Maybe we should have talked about vaginal discharge. Would you like to talk about the vagina? The vagina comes in all different shapes and sizes. You have big vaginas, small vaginas, round vaginas, thin vaginas, fat vaginas, hairy vaginas, bare vaginas. Word on the street is our show is taking off pretty quickly, and I'm really happy and grateful and thankful for everybody who shared this show like they've been doing. That's pretty sweet of you. So hopefully we'll rise in the ranks there. I'm coming after you, Conan. Conan, do you hear me? I'm coming after you. I'm coming for you, Conan. A few years ago, my friend sent me a gift from, I guess, Amazon or something like that. And the gift was in a box. And it was a bidet. He got me a bidet. You know what a bidet is? That's the thing that squirts the water on you when you go to the bathroom. Anyways, yeah, so now you have to understand, before this, he would send a little gift every now and then just for fun. Like one time he sent me Little Debbie snack cakes. And it wasn't even like a case of snack cakes. He literally sent one box of Little Debbie snack cakes. He lives in a different state, and he sent it all the way to me and just said, I thought you might enjoy a tasty treat. And it was just like a 6-pack of like Nutty Bars or something. So this guy is okay. And then one time he sent me a glowworm. It was like a stuffed animal that glowed, and I really was in love with that thing. And so he sent me that as a gift. But then out of nowhere, he sends me this bidet, and I'm looking at it like, what the hell? Why would he do that? So he goes, I guess he was doing the tracking, so he knew that I got it. So he called me and he's like, "Hey man, did you get the bidet?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I got it, but I don't understand what I'm supposed to do with it." He goes, No, you got to hook this up, man. You got to try this bidet. Like this will change your life, bro. This will change your life. I'm like, "Okay." He goes, "No, it's the best. Like you got to get this. It's going to change everything for you." So I was kind of like why would he ever be thinking of me in that way? Like, how did that even come up? And like, wow. Anyway, so it sat in the box in the garage for a long time, and then I haven't actually used it. It's been probably 3 years since he sent this thing, and it's in a box. And a couple of weeks ago, out of nowhere, he goes, "Hey, by the way, man, Did you ever use that bidet I sent you? And I didn't want to lie because I'm not going to lie to him. And I said, actually, no. But in my defense, at the time, we were about to remodel the bathroom. We were. And so it took a while to do that. And then we remodeled the bathroom, had to change out the toilet. So I never like installed the bidet. And he's like, oh man, yeah. And I said, but just to like, I've given to the Salvation Army like 6 times between the time he gave me that bidet and up until now. And I have not included that in the donation. I haven't included it. So that should be a good thing, right? By the way, Salvation Army is way better to give to than Goodwill. Stop giving to Goodwill. I don't believe their will is good. They sell things and it's not even cheaper than Walmart. So Salvation Army actually like uses the stuff you give them and gives them to people who are needy, like in a lot of ways. If they sell it, it's like super cheap, but they also like employ people who that need help being employed, So when you put a bunch of stuff on your porch for Salvation Army, they'll send somebody in the truck, and the driver of the truck is probably somebody doing community service of some sort or just down on his luck. And then his helper, like this last guy who came, he was very special needs. I don't know why I said very, but he was very special needs. And so, but they employ him, which is cool. And that's why I like the Salvation Army, because when you give stuff to the Salvation Army, they do stuff with it for people who are in really desperate need, especially emergencies. And they employ a bunch of people that are otherwise unemployable in many, many facets. Okay. So anyways, back to that. Back to the do-gooding thing. Forget the do-gooding thing. But yeah, so I said I gave it to I did not give it to the Salvation Army. I still have it. And he's like, oh man, you got to get this thing. You got to get this thing. But then after I said, okay, but the other problem I have is I share a bathroom with, at the time, a preteen girl who is now a teenage girl. And I didn't know, like, do I just put this in there? And like one day she goes to the bathroom and she's like, oh, what is this? And then like, do we talk about it afterward? Like, hey, how's it going? Did you enjoy the bathroom? Did you use the water squirter for your butthole? That's not really a conversation I'm having with her. So, hey, so does your butthole feel better, honey? How's your butthole now? Daddy's butthole's way better now. That's good that we have better buttholes. I mean, I'm not doing that conversation with her. So I was trying to explain to him, like, I can't do the bidet thing because also I didn't understand how it fit in the toilet. Does it like just cover the bowl? Like, how do you not end up peeing on it and stuff? Anyway, so he goes on and on and explains to me how this bidet works. He goes, no, man, you hook it up and it goes right at the back end of the toilet there. And for some reason, like the water, when it squirts out, it goes at an angle. And it's like, you don't even have to adjust it. It's perfect right out of the box. I'm like, so, and he goes, yeah, it's just like perfect. So I'm like, okay, so it's going to know where my butthole is. And it's like, yeah. All the buttholes are like in the same spot, basically. I'm like, that's news to me. I always thought like, depending on you would be at a different angle. And I didn't want to have to like adjust it so it fits my butthole. And then like somebody else uses it and there's a preset, like one of those beds, and it adjusts to their butthole. So he said, no, man, it'll just go into the right place. Trust me. And then you just do a little dry off. I'm like, you do a little dry off. I'm like, well, if you're going to be using a dry off, just use the toilet paper. Anyway, so he's convinced me now that it's a one butthole fit all sort of thing. I do not need to worry about the awkward conversation. You know what? I feel like it's going to be a problem, the conversation with the teenager. I may have to like sit her down, not in the bathroom. I mean, just sit her down. Okay. I may have to sit her down and say, hey, listen. But see, I can't do that. There's no way I'm having a bidet conversation and she's going to think it's weird and fuck, I don't know. Anyway, so I don't know if I should install it. So I thought, you know what? Oh, okay, fine. I'll install it. The bathroom has been remodeled. The toilet's it's a keeper toilet. We're going to keep it forever. So I guess I'm going to try the bidet. But then I go out to the garage, and as soon as I went out to the garage, it hit me. Holy shit. I did give that bidet away on the very last pickup from Salvation Army. I remember including the box thinking, I need to get this out of the garage. And so now I have to call Butch and tell him that this butthole rinser that he's so freaking hyped about, I actually never used it, and I eventually gave it away. And I just feel I'm not quite sure how to do that. I'm not quite sure if I should call him and let him know and record the call or for the show, or just I was thinking I could fake it. I was thinking, you know what? I'm just going to pretend like I got it. But then I know him. He's going to ask me questions about it that only a bidet owner would know. So now I have to go to like YouTube or something and then watch videos about bidets. So when he quizzes me, which he will definitely do, he will be quizzing me, I'll be able to come up with the correct answers. And I wish I could remember the model number it was or what brand it was. Maybe I should just get another bidet and then just start using it. And that way when he asks me questions, I can at least answer the questions. But I don't know. Do you guys even own these things? I don't know anyone who does except for him. And he is all the rave about it. Apparently, if you do own one, you cannot stop fucking talking about it. And I would prefer that he absolutely stop fucking talking about it. That is the craziest thing. We are almost at 22 minutes on the dot. Couldn't even have planned that better. Of course, I did have to cut out 17 minutes of different types of vaginas. That's our show for today. We appreciate you listening. We'll catch you next time.